then a bad condition because central government not hand over the hospital in function them to the council. Three appeal court judge them. Just three appeal court judge them. Don't ask the correctional center for the allow retired Major Alfred Paulo Conte for see in family member them 2 term every week and serve for the exercise 2 hours every day. And today inside the program, the bank governor, Professor Kelfala Kalon, go talk about the measure them where the bank don't put in place for address the way how the exchange rate they go up and policy them where go improve the country economy.
Well, this and plenty other stories them then at the program for you, plus the head sister at the Well Woman Clinic, Sister Adjatu Salam, don't say 75% of the women them way in the treat get sexual transmitted infection, where this is say they cause cervical cancer. Members say they listen we live on the internet on www.radiodemocracy.sl, courtesy of Osiwa and powered by AfriCell. And Sefi they listen we from Radio Shalom 89.5 in Akwena Dugu, Radio Malen 88.5 and Radio 1G 11.1 Apuja District, Radio Kolenten 90.5 na Kambia, Radio Mwa 105.5 na Kailahun District, and Voice of Karine 98.0 na Karine District Kamakwi. The program na Good Morning Saloon. You can be part of one by way you can send text message to the number 0779819881. 0779819881 are the number for sending text message and be part of the program. As you read from one of the headline stories them today, the bank governor Professor Murana Kalon go talk about the measures them where the bank don't put in place for address the way how the exchange rate they go up and policy them we go improve the country economy. Well, for Sika that I want to welcome the bank governor inside the studio. Good morning and welcome to the program, Professor Kalon.
Good morning, Mr. Kamara and Ms. Bangura. Good morning, listeners.
Okay, continue further with you inside the program. Good morning, Salon. Will come to you back.
We continue with the program Good Morning Salon, and as government body where they in charge for monetary policy, Bank of Salon through the bank governor, they implement different policy them for support the economy. Some of them policy are now the control of the exchange rate and interest rate, and other one them. Waiting are some of them policy are Musa Kamara look inside them and gonna reports.
National economy them can then at different stage them under certain situation them, and then stage here can be economic recession, inflation or inflationary gap, full employment economy and other one them. Any level where the economy day, government economic agency them like the Minister of Finance or Central Bank can implement whether fiscal or monetary policy for improve the condition of the economy or maintain them the way it is. Bank of Saloon, they in charge for implement government monetary policy them way now for make sure say it reduce the interest and exchange rates, for make sure say enough currency both local and international they in circulation through open market policy, open discount window, control the activity of commercial bank them by way then go make sure say the commercial bank them get enough reserve na the central bank for prevent them from bad debt and short of money for pay them clients them. For sake of all this, Bank of Saloon don't they implement different monetary policy them and one pandemic policy now for control the exchange rate by way then try for ban people where they sell or buy dollar na streets where people can call dollar boys or black marketers where then action for sell or buy dollar na streets according to the bank governor Professor Murana Kalon go make the exchange rate act for control. So for pull them na treats because the Bank of Saloon Act section 48 no grief pandemic kind exchange here cause it will blow the country economy.
Our patience has run out, and therefore we are announcing the following public notice on prohibition of foreign exchange currency transactions by unlicensed operators. And we do this pursuant to Section 48.3 of the Bank of Sierra Leone Act, that empowers the Bank of Sierra Leone to take emergency measures in order to stabilize the foreign exchange market. And here are the following directives. 1. Foreign currency trading, meaning the buying and or selling of foreign currency, shall be undertaken by only commercial banks and licensed foreign exchange bureaus. 2. Commercial banks and licensed foreign exchange bureaus shall engage in foreign currency transactions at only their registered and or approved addresses on file at the Bank of Sierra Leone. 3. Street trading of foreign currency is expressly prohibited with immediate effect. 4. buying foreign currency from or selling foreign currency to persons or entities that are not commercial banks or licensed foreign exchange bureaus is strictly prohibited.
For say enough money, both local and foreign currency, dey na the country banking system for support the monetary policy wey the bank governor think say for make the bank auction or sell dollar to commercial bank them na the solution.
With the auction $5 million dollars, the importance of that is that if people need, particularly where would they by this COVID and coming out of COVID, we want business people to be able to buy things we don't want to buy, bring to this country with access to foreign exchange because they get for pay in foreign
Apart from
currency.
this policy for make the postal service wey get the mandate for post and receive thing them na the country involved by economic transaction for begin sell dollar all over the country, where this according to Professor Kalon, the Bank of Salon think of this idea as way for make sure say small business people self-able get access to foreign currency.
We develop a novel thing where with a license the post, the post office, like in other countries, for dealing foreign currencies, so that you can go post office. If you just want $500, you buy $500. If you get dollar, you can send you dollar, you can go post office sell on it. If you want to send money, you can go buy travelers checks and that from the post office. That's another one. When we get a post office license as an agent to work on our behalf, to service them small customer them, where banks not
Even though the
prioritize.
Minister of Finance, they're in charge of government fiscal policy like taxation, expenditure, debt and other one them. But the bank governor get the responsibility for advise government on fiscal policy, where according to Professor Kalon, for reduced taxation, now one thing where he don't advise government for do, whose benefit that gets.
The message where I don't give to government is that we get for look at all of these taxes. We get for normalize with taxes, particularly import duties and that, with our neighboring countries, because we're not the only player in the world. If our tariffs are even 1% higher than some other place, people can transship to those places. My advice that I don't give the government is, yes, we need to raise revenue, but at the same time, we get to make sure, say, we not divert trade from Sierra Leone to other countries.
Now most of them policy are the bank governor Professor Kalon don't put in place for make the country get stable economy and make the dollar not the rise and fall. But radio democracy, they point to some of them policy are and ask whose improvements they don't make to the sector, with support from Michael Sambula for the Society for Radio Democracy, Musa Kamara.
We continue with the program. Good morning, Salon, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. Well, from that report there, where Musa S. Kamara do and talk about all the policy them where Professor Kalon be done put together from where EB Bank Governor. Inside August 2019, the Bank of Salon will introduce again some directive them for SECA de-dollarization and foreign exchange. From that time day to now, which impact within directive you don't make to the economy? You go know inside the program as we still get the bank governor for the central bank, where now Professor Kalon, a day with we that the program this morning for can look about all the fiscal policy them where the bank don't put together and save some of the advice them where it they give to government as way for able for handle the economy and safe control the exchange rate where they go up in the country. Good morning one more time, Professor Kalon, and welcome again to the program.
Good morning.
Professor Kalon, as my colleague don't rightly mentioned, you they in charge of all monitoring policies of the government, and same way so you are the advisor on fiscal policies. We don't play a report to say you don't put different policies them in place. Now we they ask from where you put them policies them in place, you don't look back at them and say yes, whether what you put them for you don't achieve or we still elect more.
Well, we get for first clarify some things. The Bank of Australia not the control exchange rate. The exchange rate regime in this country is determined by the Minister of Finance. And since 1991, the Minister of Finance been done talk say we forget a flexible exchange rate regime, which means that the exchange rate on any given day, now the demand for dollars versus the supply of dollars, they determine the exchange rate. But what we been can meet when we took over at the Bank of Sierra Leone was that the leone been they depreciate against the dollar at a speeding rate. And we wanted to stabilize that. The policies we've been put in place, the restrictions we put in place, I don't know, we're not there on TV, but I can show you now this picture. If you look here, this now August 2020, it rise at a higher rate. By August 2019, by January 2020, it begins to stabilize. It don't stabilize throughout. Exchange rate, they change every day. Some day they will go up. Some day they go down. But as a monetary authority, what will they do now for stabilize that long run trend? Which we don't do. We don't achieve that. Now, any given day, the exchange rate will change because of something we can happen. We've been getting a big bump where nobody no notice in May. That was when government spent beaucoup money on COVID, on the lockdown and this, that. Where you put more of your money outside into the economy relative to the money of the other countries, your money they depreciate. Then can call me textbook economics, so that's textbook economics 101. Any country where they put more money outside relative to the money of in trading partners, in currency they depreciate.
Professor, earlier you say the Minister of Finance na responsible for control the Minister of Finance for control the exchange rate.
No, the Minister of Finance now they determine the regime. If the Minister of Finance go to Parliament and say, will they fix the exchange rate? Then the Bank of Sierra Leone will follow a fixed exchange rate policy. But the exchange rate policy of this country, which the Bank of Sierra Leone, I as governor support, is a flexible exchange rate.
All right, this being said, we'll see the bank introduce some directive them, and you as the governor will they go out there for encourage some of them dollar boy them for common at treat at some point to be even they arrest some of them. This particular directive, whose impact will it don't make in terms of the dollar rate when you talk about the black market? Because you're in Anton and they will talk to you. You say now some of the things then this way they do for discourage them, not for the change dollar na street, and if they tap, the country go able to get a fixed exchange rate. But from that time day to now, the exchange rate they go up, seem for the candle. If you say that particular decision they be right?
Well, I don't ever say we will get a fixed exchange rate. The exchange rate regime, now the Minister of Finance, the determiner. I don't want a fixed exchange rate. What the central bank want now for stabilize the exchange rate so that the long run trend is stable, they jump up and down. Now, to get into your question, I just show you this time series of daily exchange rates from August 20, 2019 to August 17, 2020. You see a clear trend, long run trend, where the show say around 2020 the exchange rate been don't stabilize. I'll give you another picture. When I just 1 month from July 17 to August 17, you see instability. We go explain how that instability comes.
What's not the problem there?
What's not the problem? Well, if we be even push them back to July, government been pay beaucoup contractors. Then contractor then pay them in loans. Those loans then put them on the market for try to convert them into dollars. Beaucoup man no one go na bank for go put them kind of loan na bank. Some man, of course, then getting 10% or 5%, whatever. Then all get them loan them. Then give them boy them for gonna treat. We then give them boy them for gonna treat. The policy what been put had been so successful that the street been dry of dollars.
We mean say the
Okay.
decision will be make for pull the dollar boys then a state. This particular statement we make clearly should say no work.
No, the decision for pull the dollar boy then at the street no work because there is no enforcement.
What
The
happen
bankers,
with what happen with the bank in relationship and the law enforcement agency?
the Bank Australian, they put regulations in place. The law enforcement agencies, now them for enforce them law then. You go right at the nose of the bank. We say traffic policeman then they. Dollar boy then they. You go right down Sheikh Stephen Street, then they.
Now that's I ask waiting at the relationship with the bank and the law enforcement agency because at some point you be the work with the police for try for pull the dollar boys then a street.
Well, we've been the hope say we go work with the police for pull them a treat.
What's I go wrong?
Well, we not see the cooperation. Not
So-
only the police, but even after the police then don't, in some cases, where, for example, where I go catch Radisson Blue, they charge in dollars. I bring the report card to the police. The police investigate, then send that file to law officers. Law officers decide one day, say, then they charge these people. Within the next day, inexplicably, then it's a case no day.
Okay. Professor, let we look at the different policies that we don't put in place since you come as bank governor. What can inform you decisions then for past them policies then also?
Well, the folks on the internet, they call me a textbook economics. Textbook economics. Because you get to understand the relationship between the variables in the country. You know, they just look at correlation. You see one day exchange rate change, you say, oh, now the restrictions we governor put. But when the exchange rate good also, you say, oh, now the restrictions we government put. We at the central bank, particularly the research department, would study the economy. Would study how when you change one variable, how it impact the other variables. Now those studies, they lead to the policies we would put forth. But any policy you put forth in economic policy, textbook economists, maybe then forgive me a t-shirt like they wear. Textbook economists always assume that the legal system, that the law and order system, that all the other systems in government go work. When they fail for work, your best theories, your best evidence of the world, no go work. Law is only as important as its implementation.
So before then policies them we the bank they put in place. When I can do any research, is it based on research or public opinion before when I come into with them? One of them now the auction of dollars on to the market we when I recently do. How when I can arrive at that conclusion, say yes, Louis auction some dollars or Louis ensure say we advise government for reduce tax.
No, we sometimes we do our research. Macroeconomics is different from microeconomics. Microeconomics, they deal with small sectors. The macroeconomy, where you study them, you take the data. Within the data they tell you, now they inform the policy prescriptions, what would they bring? We've done quite a bit of research on this economy. There's nobody in the world who don't do research on the macroeconomy past me of this country.
Okay.
But even at that, my research department, I tasked them to keep doing more based on what we can find. Then we put policies forward.
Professor, a couple of times the bank done the auction dollar, where then they put na the market out there. And some per then dollar there with the bank the auction, you dey encourage the banks them for give people that win a small business owner them because most of the time then they get challenged when they want for go buy them business them. With the auction them where the bank don't make, what's difference with this particular auction owner don't they make? I remember the last one about $500 million where owner put out there. What's difference where they don't make? We hamper the way how the bank or the Ministry of Finance they try for handle the exchange rate.
Whose difference it don't make? Well, auction per se will not do it just for exchange rate. Sometimes in the like where government been done put so much money out for COVID. We know say everybody they don't want the loan at this point, not dollar they want. So we auction to the bank them, the dollar, so that we will get some of that loan for dry up the situation. But let us see what difference has our policies made since we put them in place. When I can talk about the so-called star performers, the economies with a star performers in Africa. One of them is Botswana. Botswana look much like us. They get diamonds, but they don't use their own resources very wisely. They get multi-billion-dollar sovereign wealth fund, and this, that. If you look at this graph, again, the pinnacle here is 2020. You see the leone they appreciate against the puller until May to July 2020, then it begin to depreciate. Wind up big money kind inside. Look at the next country. Where then they put a star performer, Cape Verde. Again, the leone being they appreciate against the escudo for quite a while until we get this bump where we put all this money into the system. Look at Rwanda. All man, they talk about Rwanda. If you look at the Rwandan franc, from the time where we put the restrictions up to now, the leone they continuously appreciate against the franc.
Bank governor, you dey talk about countries them where the leons they appreciate against. For somebody where they listen to you say Salon no get common exchange with them countries them. Wetin matter na the dollar where we dey deal with always, and also with neighboring countries them. How we own leons they appreciate or depreciate against them currencies then then go on listen about like Guinea or Liberia or against the dollar. Very much important compared to Botswana and also Rwanda where Salomani go by.
Very
easily.
Good. When we look at exchange rates, there are two things. We know they trade directly with Botswana or Rwanda, but then they trade with the United States. United States is not the reserve currency. If the currency depreciate at a greater rate against the dollar than we currency go appreciate against theirs. Waiting at the try for show una, all the way to Seychelles. These are the star performers we all man they talk about in Africa. The restrictions where we don't put Naya, make sure say the leone appreciate against the currencies. Now now counter we region.
Professor, then analysis here where they give so somebody where they somebody where they watch or listen to you go say okay then good the comparison where they make, but the ordinary man out there and waiting in one for known the reality on the ground, which is the dollar as of yesterday now 1,080,000 for $100, and people them no say the dollar they go up with all the policies or the decision them the directives where this BNT we see the bank don't put in place. The reality out there now that the dollar rates they go up.
There is something called a counterfactual in economics. What been for happen if then policy they not been there? We get an IMF program where we been agree on certain benchmarks. Who side the dollar for at this point? I've been asked my staff for give me that information, but I believe say we were expected to have the dollar at 15,000 leons to the dollar at this time. So even when the dollar don't jump because of this quick perturbation, we are still doing much better than we were expected to be doing at this time. Now, yes.
So you get confidence over you policy then?
No. Let me just land. Yes, things tough in this country. What we they try say is that the policy then where we don't put in place, they make it less tough than it for be. This is why whenever we get these quarterly reviews, the IMF they give we good marks. Sometimes they ask me, Governor, we've been expecting the exchange rate will be at this. Now, what do you do? But you've been asked about the regional countries.
Yes.
So let's look. This is not the Gambia and the Lassie. We've been depreciate against them until January 2018, the 2020. Then the Leon began to appreciate. Let's look at the Ghanaian cedi. We appreciate against them all the way to May 2020. We depreciate, then we don't appreciate against the cedi. Let's look at the Guinean franc. Now you want to talk about. The Leon been done, they appreciate against the Guinean franc in terms of long run trend throughout the period. Let's look at the Liberian dollar. Starting in November 2019, the Leon has been continually appreciating against the dollar. Wait, let's get to the big elephant in the room, the Nigerian naira. The Leon went neck to neck with the naira and then appreciated steeply against the naira. And it continues to be appreciating against the naira. So if you look at our region also, we don't do very well. That does not mean, say, thing not tranga not treat. What thing that mean is that thing being for more tranga if we don't put the policies where we don't put in place. And this not all the time for move away from those policies.
Okay, Bank Governor Professor Murana Kalon, continue for the with you inside the program. We'll come back to you inside the program Good Morning Saloon. We'll go for the short break, we'll continue the program.
Salon Commercial Bank don't come with new banking products them for make life easy. With Million Online Bank and Million Mobile app, you can able for use Salon Link money transfer for send money to anybody elect you not get bank account. Transfer or receive money na the same bank or any other bank. Transfer money to person or office elect you not get the account number. Buy Edsalite, pay other bill them, and now get advanced salary. You don't need for worry again but almost money then you earn. Because you can able for pay for things the way you buy in a supermarket and other shop them with the quick response code payment. Yagbadon done for we boss man them. With Beyond Online Direct, you can upload salary, pay all you supplier them, sell forex to Salon Commercial Bank, and watch your account anytime. If you need the app, download them from Google Play Store or any Apple Store or go to Salon Commercial Bank website www.slcb.com. Sierra Leone Commercial Bank, delivering value.
Way for help people the way they do small thing for survive, and then one the way they run place like cinema all for manage their life during COVID-19.
The Anti-Corruption Commission get what say people they go around a Kambulto area now Watalo they take money na people and earn, especially women them for register they forget about 1.5 to 2 million loans.
The Anti-Corruption Commission will make all man know say the money where World Bank and government of Salon they give for help people and then temia now 1,309,000 loans.
If anybody ask you for money for register you, or if you been don't give money to anybody back, call ACC na 515 or report na the police station where they near you.
Make sure say you not give penny to anybody for register you for get money where World Bank and government of Salon give for help people them during this COVID-19 sick. This message come out from the
Corona or COVID. Now with the normal illness when they use so long on hospital tour, where they go